What's going on, weirdos? Back again. In the new place. In the new office. Here just to talk some shit about some ridiculous stuff that's going on. Your weekly update, your weekly newsletter on military shenanigans that are going on in the United States and across the world that happen to involve soldiers, sailors, Marines, airmen. Oh, what's the Space Force called again? Comrades? No. They actually had a cool name. I like their name. Oh, what's the Space Force's name? God, Gladiators? No. Oh, come on, chat. Help me out. What's the Space Force called? Not astronauts. Guardians. They called them Guardians. I don't know if I got that or if the Neon Ninja, or excuse me, if Connor Phillips got it for me first. Because I think I saw Guardians as I was saying it. And also, Time Magzine, Person of the Year, most influential person, whatever you want to call it. Who's it going to be? Xi Jinping? The guy who owns Disney that Elon Musk told to fuck off? There's so much going on in the world today. It's fantastic. By the way, this is going to be my last live stream here on the Angry Cops channel. I started a Angry Streams channel. So yeah, every once in a while, something absolutely crazy pops off. And I want to make sure that everybody can get to it. Yeah, I'll come on here. But the weekly podcasts are going to be podcasts. The weekly live streams are going to be on Angry Streams on YouTube. Thinking about getting a Rumble. Thinking about maybe doing Kick. Just in case YouTube kicks me off here. Because God knows, probably on borrowed time. Right? It's not like Elon's going to buy YouTube anytime soon. So, fingers crossed. So yeah, feel free to like, share, subscribe the Angry Streams channel, which is up right now. It's up right now. Technical difficulties. Would have streamed on there today, but we're doing it on here because I can't figure out the internet. Let's get into it. What's going on with your world, weirdos? What's happening with you? By the way, new hoodie. They're almost sold out. Angry Cops hoodie. I think all the triple XLs are gone. So all you normal bodies, the fat bodies got them. Am I on Spotify? No, not yet. Not unless maybe I get a podcast. Do you live stream on Spotify? I don't know if you live stream on Spotify. Trying to see if my mic is shrinking. All right. The news. You know what? Let's do. Hey, chat. What do you want to do first? You want to check out the Houthi drone attacks on United States ships in the Red Sea, or do you want to go through the short list of what was it? Times Person of the Year 2023. Which one do you want to do first? I like your setup, Jake Beatty. Oh, I'm seeing drones. Times, drones. Drone attacks. All right, I'm seeing drone attacks. We'll hit drone attacks first. I only know a little bit about this. So, from what I understood, looking at the medias, let's get to the split screen. Transition. I'm a white guy, and I'm here to talk to you about, in a weird accent, this thing. Very much meaning, the thing. I only know a little bit about the attacks. I know that... Let's see if I can get this screen right. Get out of here, ad. I know that there were some civilian ships... And then the United States carrier came in.
Violence in Yemen's war. There have been a series of maritime attacks claimed by Yemen's Houthi rebels since Israel's war on Hamas and the Gaza Strip has escalated. Now, in the most recent attacks, we've seen them be the worst yet. The U.S. military says that the Houthis launched ballistic missiles targeting 3 commercial vessels in the Red Sea, a strategic shipping route. The U.S. military also says one of its warships had to shoot down 3 bomb-carrying drones. It shows just how dangerous the situation has become.
Everybody's using drones now. And then they're not talking about like our drones, like the Reaper drones or shit like that. They're talking about normal quads, just the little quadcopters that you're seeing on... What are some of the Instagram accounts that I follow? Oh gosh, I'm blanking on some of the Instagram accounts that I follow. It's like Atlas News or War Atlas, and I'm blanking on all the guys that I follow. Oh, come on. You know what? It's like, who do I follow on Instagram that is always posting like actual war updates? Oh, I don't know. Whatever. Oh, I wish I could find it. Anywho. Yeah, these drone attacks are something super interesting because we've seen them being used in Ukraine against the Russians and vice versa, where it's these suicide drones. Daniel, what's up? Day's going fine, homie. And now we're starting to see Houthi rebels, you know, it's starting to move its way down into, you know, the Saudi Peninsula, where the Houthis are starting to use them against us. I've been waiting for Hamas and the Houthi rebels to start utilizing drones. But let's read the article by AP. 3 commercial ships Sunday at the Red Sea were fired on by Houthi rebels, and I believe that they were hit too. I think 3 ships were hit. Yeah, 3 commercial ships hit. U.S. warships, while U.S. warships shot down 3 drones in self-defense. Dude, I don't know what the deal is with naval ships. And correct me if I'm wrong, chat. But naval ships have been I don't want to say an easy target, but a slow-moving target for terrorist attacks against the United States and United States service members for a long time. What was it? There was the suicide boat that ran into the one in the Gulf. I forget what that one was called. It killed a couple sailors, actually. And not a lot of response. You start bombing like places where there's soldiers in Iraq, and then we'll start, okay, cool, hey, we're going to start firing back. Pew, 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 pew. Send some HIMARS out there. Surface-to-air missiles. Took out a couple guys that were trying to bomb, I believe, Iraqi soldiers, or excuse me, American soldiers in Iraq. That's a different story. But it seems as though whenever it's a U.S. naval ship, all these terrorist groups are like, sweet, attack them. And then the United States response is always like, whatever. It's a floating fortress. We'll deal with it. The USS Cole. Thank you, chat. The USS Cole bombing. What happened after the USS Cole bombing? Did like nothing happen? We're getting sidetracked here, but that's okay. What would you call that? Reaction to United States military reaction, response, not reaction. Was this fucking YouTube? Response to the USS Cole bombing. Search for justice by Al Qaeda. By the way, donate to Wikipedia. I do. Only $10. And I use them way too much. Suicide attack by Al Qaeda in 2000. So it was before 17 U.S. Navy soldiers were killed. Like, if that doesn't, how did that now? That surprises me that we wouldn't start going after bin Laden at that time and just start sending missiles into Afghanistan. Claimed the responsibility. U.S. judge was held Sudan liable for the attack while other released over 30 million Sunnis frozen assets to the relatives of those kids. Okay, responsibility. U.S. judge held Sudan liable while another attack has released 13 million Sydney's frozen assets, also the relatives of those killed. United States Navy reconsider rules of engagement to response in this attack. Sudan and the United States signed a bilateral claims agreement to compensate families for these soldiers died in the bombing. The agreement entered into force in February of 2021. So that was it. They just got paid. They just got paid? See, that's the shit that pisses me off. And that's what, like, that seems to be the standard for attacking U.S. ships. You're just like, So some kids died. So they got blown up. It's the Navy. That's what's supposed to happen. We can't have them fire their weapons at someone who just attacked us. I mean, that's a suicide bombing, so it's a little bit different, right? But you think that you'd start going after Al-Qaeda earlier on. Being like, hey, these guys did a suicide attack against a naval ship that's armed. Perhaps. Some might say, that's a red flag. All right, so anyway. Talking about the USS Cole, because we're talking about the 3 drones that were shot down after they went after the USS, oh, it's like Carney or something like that. Where are we at? Iranian Houthis claimed 2 of the attacks. Strikes marked an escalation of a series of maritime attacks in the Middle East linked to the Israel-Hamas war. Yeah, the ship's there to shoot down and protect ships from these terrorist attacks by the Houthi rebels. They'll consider all appropriate responses. Fucking shoot them. They're terrorists. Wake of the attack, especially calling out Iran after tensions have been high for 2 years now. Anybody, this kills me. Like, I'm not a genius. I'm not a smart man. I hang around people that are a lot smarter than me. But anybody that ever wants to support Iran, like, that entire country is just focused on the demise of not just Israel, depending on, and who cares on what you think of Israel, and if we should back them up or whatever. But just ever since it's been there, it's like, nah, this place needs to die. And then ever since the overthrow, ever since the Ayatollah of Iran took over, the original one, they're all like, death to America. Yeah, fucking kill him. And now there's been a bunch of people that have been protesting in Iran trying to push back. I like assisting them. That's cool to assist them so they're pro-American like that. But just the Iranian government can suck a big bag of dicks. Drew, a very good question, Drew. Do you believe that Die Hard is a Christmas movie? Yes. And technically, so is Rambo. Because Rambo takes place during Christmas, too. Think about that. There's Christmas trees in the background. It's cold. They're going through the woods. There's pine trees everywhere. Rambo bleeds. That's red. Red and green. Christmas colors. Brian Allman says, you're getting ads for diamond engagement rings. Is there something you need to tell us? Yeah, I'm engaged. Congratulations to me. Die Hard's absolutely a Christmas movie. 3 attacks represent a direct threat to international commerce and maritime, or these attacks represent a direct threat to international commerce and maritime security. No shit. If you're taking drones and just throwing it off the side, off of Yemen, we have every reason to believe that these attacks, while launched by the Houthis in Yemen, are fully enabled by Iran. Yeah, because that's all Iran does. The attack began around 9:15 in Yemen's capital. Near Yemen's capital. Awesome. Yep, there it is. The USS Carney, a Navy destroyer, detected a ballistic missile fired from Houthi-controlled areas of Yemen at a Bahamas flagged bulk carrier. Bahamas? Are the Bahamas the United States or the Bahamas? The Bahamas. United Kingdom. I need to get that right. Just something I need to know. Bahamas. Do you need a passport for the Bahamas? Is it a territory? No. Are they their own country? I don't know. The Commonwealth of the West Indies? Yeah, because down there in the Keys, there's so many, like Turks and Caicos and Florida Keys. There's all these like territories of the United States and Great Britain. Oh, I guess that they're their own country. The Bahamas are their own country. Fantastic. Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Good for you guys. Don't be fucking with the Bahamas. We vacation there. We need to protect our allies. Could you imagine if they attacked the Bahamas? If the Bahamas got into war and they were just like, hey, man, we need your help, America. And just every Floridian was like, hey, man, I go down to the Bahamas in order to get away from Florida. You bet your ass I'm going to go down there and protect the Bahamas from these Yemenis terrorists, man. Shit, brother. I go from the hot Florida sun to the Bahamas Florida sun. Dying. So the Carney shot down several missile hit near the ship. Oh, really? It must have hit near the ship. This is talking about the Bahamas carrier Unity Explorer. Missile hit near the ship. The U.S. said shortly afterward, the Carney shut down a drone headed this way. So there was missiles launched and then a drone, although it's not clear if the destroyer was the target. Target of opportunity, that's true. Definitely a target of opportunity. After 30 minutes later, the Unity Explorer was hit by a missile. I wonder, it had to have been guided. You're not just sending an unguided missile out there. While responding to its distress call, the Carney shot down another incoming drone. Central Command said the Unity Explorer sustained minor damage from the missile. Interesting. So 2 missile strikes to the Unity, and then the United States shoots down 2 drones. See, that's one of those things where I wonder what the United States is actually giving out as information. If the United States is having missiles fired at its naval fleet, the American public, and rightfully so, should be upset, especially if they're in international waters, right? Hey, I've got every right to be here doing normal commerce, just making sure shit's going okay. Hey, by the way, people are attacking the ship. Let me just stop over here and make sure that ship's going to be all right. Oh, now we're getting missiles thrown at us? You could start, potentially, a war that way. So I'm wondering if it was never drones, if it was just all missiles. If they're shooting 2 missiles off at this ship, the Bahamian ship. And then, in between these 2 missiles, we sent some drones, 2 drones at the Carney, the USS Carney. It wouldn't surprise me if there were actual missiles going towards the USS Carney and they go, they're drones. We're going to call them drones so we don't start an incident. The Carney, an Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyer. Oh, so it's all about destroying missiles. But it's just shooting down drones here. It's only shooting down drones in the Red Sea from these Houthi rebels, not shooting down missiles like it's supposed to, like its job is. It's just shooting down drones, you know, because we don't want an international incident and us to go to war again, which makes sense. They shot down multiple rockets the Houthis have fired towards Israel during the nation's war against Hamas in the Gaza Strip. It hasn't been damaged in any of the incidents and no injuries have been reported on board. The Defense Department initially described the assault as simply an attack on the Carney before providing more details. Houthi military spokesman, oh great, Brigadier General Yahya Saree claimed 2 of Sunday's attacks, saying the first vessel was hit by a missile and the second by a drone, while in the strait, Bab el-Mandeb Strait, which links the Red Sea to the Gulf of Aden, didn't mention any U.S. warship being involved, which is fucking stupid. I mean, it's smart. Obviously, he could say, oh, no, we attacked the civilian ship. We didn't attack the American ship. And then some Associated Press or some other idiot's going to be like, well, the Americans just fired upon these guys for no reason. We have no proof. It was, the guys firing rockets 30 seconds ago at this other bird. I could just see the headlines. I'm just foreshadowing. $500 drone shot with $20,000 missile. Yeah, but do you want $50,000 in damage or you want to shoot a $20,000 missile? Come on, Lost Creek. Think with your brain and your wallet. Oh, look. A $300 drone with a bunch of C4 coming in. Do I just let it hit the ship or do I shoot it down? Loss of life or shoot a missile and get good training out of it. Realistic training. Come on, Creek. Use your brain. Get your head out of your ass. This is one thing I don't understand about people that don't like defense spending. I understand that you don't like defense spending. I get that. But in moments like this where you're like, oh, we fucking shot down a $30 fucking arts and crafts piece with a $50,000 fucking missile. Do you just... You should be able to just crash explosive drones into naval ships with personnel on it because you want to save $30,000? Where the fuck, United States? We can definitely cut some funds from somewhere else and move some things around. We can handle it. We're okay. I'm more worried about inflation than I am of us shooting a couple extra missiles off to protect the ship and its personnel. The Yemeni armed forces continue to prevent Israeli ships from ships from navigating the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden until the Israel aggression against our steadfast brothers in the Gaza Strips. Oh, he's still saying this. Is this the terrorist guy? The Houthi military spokesman? The terrorist brigadier general? The Yemeni armed forces continue to prevent Israeli ships from navigating the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden until the Israeli aggression against our steadfast brothers. You mean response to a terrorist attack where they killed like 12,000 civilians or 1,200 civilians and kidnapped them. Okay, but whatever. I mean, okay. And the Gaza Strip stops, Suri said. Jiz said. The Yemeni armed forces renewing their warning to all Israeli ships or those associated with Israelis that they will become a legitimate target if they violate what is stated in the statement. Fuck you. Suri also identified the first vessel as the Unity Explorer, which is owned by a British firm that includes David Unger, who lives in Israel, as one of its officers. So it's... Do you see how it's easy to not like Hamas and the Houthi rebels? He's like, oh, hey, the owner of this company, even though this company's in the Bahamas, the owner of this company is a Jew, and he lives in Israel. So therefore, we have the right to shoot this ship down. Like, do you see how it's like people kind of like Israel and maybe don't like the Houthi rebels or Hamas when just the fact like, oh yeah, you know what? He's a Jew and he vacations in Israel sometimes, or he's like a citizen. Yeah, so everything that he has, everything connected to him, it's all evil and right for us to shoot down. Like, yeah, okay. Common sense. It's very, very sensible. Very sensible. Caleb says, in your opinion, do you think war is imminent? I don't wish for war, but it could be a possibility. I don't think... I mean, war's always imminent, right? What's that saying? War happens when men fail. War is the result of men's failure. Something like that. I forget who said it. Kissinger? I don't know. So, I don't think it's imminent. No. I think that Israel's a super complicated place. And so are the Palestinians in the Gaza Strip and the Hamas terrorist organization. And here's why it's complicated. You have a Palestinian group of people that are super young, super angry, super militant, and want their own country. So all the Arab countries are sitting there and they're like, you know what? We don't want Israel around here. So just give them money, let them sacrifice themselves, and let them try to take out Israel. Because that's what it is. It's basic. That's what Palestine is, and especially Hamas is being used for. It's being used as like a, what do we call that? When it was, when we were fighting Russia through Afghanistan, a proxy war. It's like a proxy war with Israel for like ever. So they're using the Palestinians and specifically Hamas as a proxy war, all these Arab nations against Israel. But none of these Arab countries will take in Palestinians for the same reasons that they're using the Palestinians to fight Israel, because they're a very tight-knit group of people that want their own space, that are very militarized and very upset. And what's going to happen if you take in 100,000 people in, like, let's say a 20-mile radius? All those people are going to gather together in their little pockets within that area, and then they're going to want anonymity, autonomy, and then they're going to create an uprising against that government. So now let's say Egypt takes in, 1 million people. Well, now they're going to have their own homegrown terrorist, Hamas, fighting the Egyptian government for autonomy. And Egypt doesn't want that. Neither does Jordan, neither does anybody else around them. So the Palestinian people, I hate to say it, they're probably their only friend is Israel to stop this and to push Hamas out, because no one else will let them live, even though they're getting bombarded by rockets from Israel right now. Now that is a very, very simplified version I've had in-depth talks with friends of mine that are Palestinian and interesting people that politically support Israel. And like I said, that's my very basic stance and understanding of this entire conflict. There's a lot more going on. Like I could go in depth, but we're talking about some other shit right now. I would need one of my intelligent friends to sit across from me and bounce ideas out there in the air so we could talk through it, which I did the other day, which is fantastic, but didn't film. So maybe if I get a podcast, we'll do something like that. All parties who were after ending a war were warned. All right, so that's that. So the Houthi rebels did that, and the other thing that I found it that I wanted, I think, is connected. Not a genius, but the other thing that I thought was interesting was that an Iranian drone was spying on the USS Eisenhower, and I don't believe that's the Eisenhower because I thought the Eisenhower is that the Eisenhower? Which one is the there we go. There's the Eisenhower because I thought the Eisenhower was a carrier. Yeah, aircraft carrier. Okay, so that was one of the destroyers that was around the Eisenhower. Now, especially with an aircraft carrier, airspace anywhere around an aircraft carrier, imagine like a snow globe. If you get into the airspace around an aircraft carrier, into that snow globe like bubble, there's a couple of them. You get a warning. You'll be told, hey, you need to fuck off. And even before you get in there, you'll have planes start taking off from the aircraft carrier, just getting ready, being like, hey, there's an unknown like aircraft in the area. We need to protect ourselves. And zoom, 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 zoom. They'll start sending aircraft out. Just as like, hey, listen, check this thing out. See what's coming. It's going kind of slow. Let's put some helicopters out there. Let's get a couple jets. Let's do some things. Do some maneuvers. Check the radar. And then they try to communicate with it. And if it doesn't communicate back, well, then those planes go out and buzz it and say, hey, what is this thing? Like, let's check out what it actually is. Get some eyes on. And then if you get within a close enough bubble, you just get shot down. Hiram, I have no idea what you're talking about. Randomly, you're saying, thought most military non-firearm explosives contained RDX. You got C4, TNT are the main two things that I would use. I mean, detonation cord. Made an unsafe pass. What does that mean? Iranian drone flew over the Eisenhower in an unsafe manner. Central Command said on Wednesday statement. Strike group conducting routine operations in the Arabian Gulf Tuesday when it spotted a drone later identified as Iranian. At one point, the drone got within 1,500 yards. Good Lord. Of the Dwight D. Eisenhower. So there you go. I mean, to me, that would be the estimate of like the first bubble. You get a warning and get told to go away if you get within 1,500 yards of the Dwight D. Eisenhower. I wouldn't want to get any closer for fear that one of the destroyers would then make you not exist anymore. The drone ignored multiple warnings according to the release. Okay, yeah, so even... See, that's interesting. Well, you've got to be on like some sort of plain text channel if you're trying to communicate with the drone. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, if you have a radio, you could have an unsecured radio. Think of like a walkie-talkie. It's just on a wide bandwidth, right? And so you click it and you talk and beep, boop, beep. It's unsecured. So that means anybody that clicks over to channel 1, whatever channel you're on a radio, they jump on that bandwidth, they hear you talk, and they can communicate. And so oftentimes that's what will happen with military aircraft from different militaries. You know, like we'll say Iranian and America. America will start going on unsecured channels and just start blaring out, hey, listen, we're on like all these different channels. Please communicate with us on this normal unsecured channel that's going out there to the ether that everybody can hear, and let us know that you can hear us, because right now you're freaking us out. You need to leave. And then you have secured channels, secured comms, secured communications. And those secured communications, think of like a combination lock on a radio, right? You have a radio and you have to put in a certain combination, and then you can talk to that person on another radio that has that certain combination on it. So, not giving anything away here, but it's called a fill. And you can have a little computer, you can have a radio and a computer within that radio, and then you have a little computer that sets up how to jump around, and like a NordVPN, how to jump around everywhere and confuse everything, and so it's unable to be tracked, and that you can have secure communications that can't be spied on. So the Eisenhower did get in contact with this drone. It ignored multiple warnings, according to the release. What a surprise. Dude, Iran and Russia, they don't give a fuck. China, I don't know if was China fucking with our drones too? I know Russia was. I know Iran doesn't give a shit. I think China's also messed with us a few times. The unsafe, unprofessional, and irresponsible behavior by Iran risks the U.S. and partner nations' lives and needs to cease immediately. Carrier Group is in Central Command's area of response as part of the U.S. reaction to the ongoing war between Israel and Hamas. Where was it, though? Where was the Eisenhower? Routine in the Central Arabian Gulf. So, everybody's in the Arabian Gulf. Who gives a shit? Drone attacks come as carrying the group. Air response part of the U.S. reaction. Well, yeah, okay, we already read that. As well as strikes against U.S. coalition forces in Iraq and Syria, which the Pentagon attributes to Iranian-baked proxy groups. Yep, well, there you go, proxy groups. Just like I was talking about earlier. Proxy wars. The strike group's presence is meant to act as a deterrent. The drone's actions come as U.S. naval ships have shot down a number of missiles from the Houthi-controlled areas of Yemen, Karni. So this is... So I'm assuming that... I wonder, I don't know. It's not giving us the date of when the Karni was and when this incident happened. In October, Karni launched SM-2s to take down a number of Houthi drones. Oh, interesting. And missiles launched towards Israel. So the Karni has already been engaging. Oh, that's right. I think we already knew that. Even before then, the Karni showed up and started taking down a whole bunch of missiles. Defensively acting. Like, hey, listen, we're just going to shoot down missiles. There's a towner assigned to the General Ford Strike Group also shot down some Houthi drones while in the Red Sea. November 22nd and the 15th. Interesting. So there you go, folks. These past couple stories, not only with the Eisenhower, but also the Karni. And what was it? The Gerald Ford? Did it say the Gerald Ford? That's just the strike group. Thomas Hudner also shot down Houthi drones and are having drones spy on it. That's the only thing that would concern me about getting into another conflict with another country and getting us drug into the Israel-Hamas conflict, right? So if we look at this conflict and we say, okay, there's a bunch of proxies going on. We already kind of talked about that, how Egypt, especially Iran, are giving money to Hamas and the Houthis to mess with Israel, bomb them, destabilize them, etc. But they're not sending their own troops in, right? They're not going to send their own troops in because they don't want the UN involved. As long as no Arab countries in the Gulf invade Israel, or as long as United States ships and military personnel aren't decimated, I don't think we'll be involved. If the United States forces were attacked, I think it would have to be something significant for the United States to be involved. And I mean, by something significant, I mean them blowing up a ship. If they attacked an aircraft carrier and they were like, hey, it's Iran. Iran blew up an aircraft carrier. That's a straight up act of war. You know, war's back on the menu, boys. Middle East again. Not like we haven't been there before. And honestly, with the way that Iran is, I don't know if it would go better than Iraq. Because Iraq's military was easy to overthrow. And I'm saying easy based on the length of the conflict, the amount of, U.S. compared to Iraqi casualties. We overtook Iraq in, what was it, less than a month? Now you compare that to Iran, a bigger country. We're able to hold off Iraq, but still we're in a stalemate with Saddam Hussein military-wise. And there's, like I said, there's a lot of people standing up to Iran within the country that don't like how, we'll say, uncooperative it's been with especially the U.S. How much support you're going to get there. And honestly, I don't know. I need to talk to somebody that knows more about Iran's, like, dipping its fingers in a whole bunch of the different countries, the Arab countries around, in the CENTCOM command, Central Asia. Because I feel that Iran and Saudi Arabia are kind of like the puppet masters, right? They're the ones that have a lot of power. They have a lot of say. They tell the smaller countries what to do and who to do this, and then they send the Houthis to go attack so and so, or Hamas to go attack so and so it's not them. I wonder if smaller countries would back, who in the Arab nations would be like, yeah, we're going to sit back and let the U.S. just crush Iran because we're tired of Iran fucking with us too. You know what I mean? Like, is Iran the bully in the Middle East? Like Iran and Saudi Arabia, are they constantly telling smaller countries what to do and pissing them off enough to where if Iran made a mistake and, began a war with the United States, that those smaller countries that were getting messed with from, via Iran were like, you know what, we've had enough. We're not going to get involved, but we're not going to support Iran. No, Steve, I'm not going to call it Sergeant content. So that's my 2 cents. I think that we've covered this pretty well. Let's get into this Time Magazine Person of the Year. I'm ready to get into this Time Magazine Person of the Year. Oh my God, I just saw Hollywood Strikers. I haven't even read it yet. That's one of the first groups I saw. Hold on. Oh, Time Magazine Person of the Year. Editors are gearing up for the announcement of Time's 2023 Person of the Year. Time's annual selection of the individual group or concept that has had the most influence. All right, so the most influence on the world throughout the previous 12 months. Who's had the most influence on the world? I mean, they made Hitler one once. And I mean, it's not like they were wrong. I mean, Hitler had a really interesting and was effect on the world and was very influential before, the whole war thing and the extermination of a certain group of people. In a tradition that dates back to 1927, Time's Person of the Year is the annual designation for the person concept that shapes the headlines for good or ill. Oh, interesting. So they could be bad. Okay. Previous selections include U.S. President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, who defeated evil Trump, right? Doesn't everybody remember when we lived under Trump and how bad it was? And how immediately after President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris took over, that the world changed for the better? Orange man bad. So obviously, good call. Well, good or ill. Well, maybe they didn't think they were going to do such a good job. I'm speaking for Time Magazine, not my personal self here. I'm just saying, Time Magazine looks at President Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and go, vaccine mandates, great idea. Horrible U.S. economy, outstanding. We love to see the economy go down. We can't be the oppressors if we are being oppressed. So, good call. Martin Luther King Jr., German Chancellor Angela Merkel, Pope Francis, and activist Greta Thunberg. Activists irritate me. Because what did Greta Thunberg change? Donut operator for cutest YouTuber. Very nice. What did Greta change? Nothing. She just went and did a bunch of talks. And everybody was like, cool, yeah. And then that was it. Like, what did she actually change? What did they say? Shape the headlines. The most shaped the headlines. I mean, I guess. But that's... I don't know. That's kind of a lame... Hey, you shaped the headlines. I mean... You start going around in every... country's capital and start masturbating in the nude, you know, while you have like a rainbow dildo up your butt, you make the headlines, right? That doesn't mean that it's newsworthy or cool or good. Like, you'd think that the person of the year would have like some sort of positive concept or positive effect on the world around them. Speaking of Donut AC, when are you going to get on one of his videos again? Listen, I didn't get on one of his videos. He took one of mine, if you think about it that way. He's breaking down my actual police videos. In 2022, Times Person of the Year was Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky and the spirit of the Ukrainian people. So in 2023, the Person of the Year is going to be put out tomorrow morning, Wednesday morning. And here are the here are the finalists, the Hollywood Strikers. Not really, man. I don't think they changed anything. They wanted more funds. I mean, that's cool, I guess. They don't want to write. I can see why they would be upset. You know, the writers are the reason why. Without a writer, what story are you going to tell? Well, we've seen it. You rehash a whole bunch of bullshit. And all the movies that came out this year, it's not a result of like the writers thing. I mean, the reshoots that they could have done, that would be a result of the writer's strike. But those movies have been in editing for the past year and a half. You film and stop filming in like 6 months. And then, usually less. And then the next year and a half, sometimes 2 years, is the editing of the video. It takes forever. Because they got to go through all the video, they got to go through all the shots, they got to go through all the B-roll, they got to put in the music, they got to put in the audio, they got to take all the different takes that you did. If you do 30 fucking takes for one scene, they got to look at all the takes, they got to edit all the takes, got to make all the takes as best as they can, and then they got to go, all right, now which one looks best? And now all that work that you did for the 29 other takes that you didn't use is gone. Gone. So the Hollywood screenwriters, you know, honestly, I think that they're great people because they made YouTube great again. Because without any good writing, let me ask you, chat, let me ask you this. I don't watch TV that much anymore. In fact, I really haven't for the past couple years. I got rid of cable. I want to say in like 2017, 2018. And I've just been doing like YouTube, Hulu. You know, but Hulu is, you know, written television. I don't give a shit about new television. And I think that all these shows that have like a laugh track on it is garbage. Absolute garbage. Did any of you notice the Hollywood strike at all? Where you're like, oh, my TV show kind of sucks now. Or, oh, I missed my favorite show. Or there's a movie coming out. Give me a thumbs down if you did not notice at all. And then give me a thumbs up if you were like, no, I know it hit me. It definitely hit me. Or like that hand emoji, the raise the hand emoji. Like, yeah. But if it's a thumbs down, like, I didn't notice it. The only thing that I noticed was that YouTube was going good again. You know, people were all like, I'm going to start my own channel. Every actor, actress, professional sports person was like, yeah, man, we're going to, you know what? We're just going to start talking about our actual experiences and life and the behind the scenes of this small world that they live in, let's say specifically sports, and share that with the world. Yeah, I'm seeing tons of thumbs down. I know. I never seen, it did not affect me whatsoever. Like, just, I haven't cared. There's been a lot of bad writing. Ghost Rider for Lockheed Martin. Oh, you know what? William Jefferson Clinton, Greta Thunberg's biggest accomplishment is saying, how dare you? I'm not going to say that second part. That is a great meme. That "How dare you" meme is awesome. What's up, Connor? Glad you could join us for the stream. By the way, once again, this is gonna be the last scheduled stream on the Angry Cops channel. I'm moving it over to the Angry Streams channel. Why? Because YouTube and its analytics are dumb, and they don't treat live streams, or they treat live streams just like the normal 3, 5, 8 minute long videos that I put out about specific scenarios and situations and actions that soldiers, seamen, airmen, Marines, etc. have. And that tanked my channel. It tanked my channel for like the past 4 months. And I was like, all right, live streams, stopping that for a minute. Create a streaming channel. We'll stream on that channel. All the bullshit, all the fun. Maybe some games. Maybe I'll play a game on there and bullshit with you guys for a couple hours once in a while. But the scheduled once a week streamings are going to be there. And Patreon gets a special stream with just me and those that want to join Patreon once a month. Once a month, just me and the Patreons bullshit about stuff. You tell me what you think about the videos or what's going on in your world or what you think is important that I should touch on. We talk about that. We break it down only for Patreon subscribers. So there's Hollywood Strikers. Back to the Time Magazine breakdown. That's right, Broad. You got the views up on our channel. I say our channel because it's without you, it's not a channel. It's just fucking me yelling into a microphone. Hell yeah, brother. I appreciate you. Don't think that I don't. I won't take you for granted. I'm a beautiful bunch of weirdos. Xi Jinping. Oh, he's definitely been influential. A few months into his unprecedented third term. Yeah, because he owns that country. Solidifying his role as one of China's most powerful modern leader. Xi has been in the Time Top 100 list with honors, which honors the 100 most influential global figures more than 10 times. He was also a runner-up for Time's 2017 Person of the Year. He's definitely influential. Influencing a bunch of fentanyl and heroin into the United States. Expanding the China Sea to try and mess with the Philippines. My people's... Taylor Swift. Okay. No. You know, Taylor Swift pissed off a bunch of people in the music industry. I don't know much about it. My veteran with the sign breaks it down a lot better than I do. But basically, because Taylor decided to re-edit all of her songs, it like fucked over everybody after her. And I mean like in the music industry. Like, so you're an artist, you sign with an album or with a company, a record label, and then, you know, you put out your music and they have the rights to it because they're going to promote it. So unless you're going to do it all by yourself, like, yeah, they get a good chunk of change of it because otherwise you wouldn't exist. Or you can do it the Upchurch way and you just, you know, you do it yourself, which is fine. And with social media, that's happening. But I guess something about her re-releasing these songs has like screwed artists after her now. Oh, one of my moderators is texting me. I'm in trouble. Oh, Veteran with the Sign is in the chat. Where are you, handsome? I don't see you in the chat. I should bring him on. So you can tell me why she's such a piece of shit. You know what? I should do that. I want to call him up right now. I'm going to see if he wants to talk about the... I'm going to try and see. That's what I'm going to do. We're going to get a surprise guest on here. I'm going to see if Veteran with a Sign wants to come. Wants to come. If he wants to come talk about some of these people with me, the top 100. Let's see, where are you at? Where are you at, homie? Do.
What?
Hey, you're on the live stream, so watch your mouth.
Okay.
Do you want to?
Everyone go check out my podcast. I'm listening. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna let you shout it out, but anywho.
Okay, yeah. Go check out the podcast, After Action Podcast. It's great. It's literally the best. We interviewed.
All right, that's good.
Okay.
Yo, do you want to come on the live stream and talk about the Times potential person of the year, the people that are in the running, and how ridiculous they are, or how legitimate they could be?
I'm in my car. In 15 minutes.
Ah, you're lame. All right. Well, I'll see you
I would
later.
love to do that.
Maybe we could. Maybe we'll talk about it on another day. Maybe because it comes out tomorrow. The most influential person comes out tomorrow, so we can shit on them tomorrow. Maybe.
Wait, tell me who it is.
I don't know who it is. It's gonna come out tomorrow morning.
Who are the candidates? Give me some.
All right. I got you on speakerphone. Got you next to the mic. So the first one was
Go ahead.
the Hollywood strikers, and I said I really couldn't give a shit about them. I don't know if they really needed the money or if they were hurting. I do think they're extremely important. I don't know much about the strike. I didn't notice them gone.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
so I understand the need for the creative not wanting to be taken over by the executive. Also, they haven't written a new show since 2010.
Thank you.
There's a show on NBC called La Brea. It's about a family that time travels through a tar pit. I heard they dropped $1 million an episode. No, like there's much more nuance to it. Like, imagine if we just did something different as opposed to like recreating ideas every 2 to 3 years.
Yeah,
it's nauseating.
So the next one is
I don't think.
next one's Xi Jinping, and I was like, oh yeah, he's definitely.
No, I'm not getting canceled. Whatever.
Whatever. I take the NBA stance on this, and I will say nothing negative about China.
Dude, LeBron James, John Cena, the NBA, they all said, I don't know what you're talking about. They apologized. Remember when John Cena, I think it was, apologized because he said the phrase Taiwan?
Yep, in Cantonese.
He apologized to in a different language.
Mm-hmm. In the language of the devil.
Yeah.
The next one is your girl, Taylor Swift, which is why you came to mind.
Because I'm big on that, yeah.
Yeah, so can you explain, because that's what I was talking about. That's why specifically why I called you, was could you quickly explain why people in Nashville and music creators are so upset with her?
Dude. I mean, this is like real inside baseball.
I know,
like,
but I find it super interesting.
The long and short of it is what she did was she changed the entire music industry, and in the sense of like people could never like recreate any of the stuff that they do, and like she like record deals are like now more robust than ever because like there was a bunch of stuff about like her label and everything, and she just re-recorded her album, and so like it's just going to make it harder for up-and-coming artists is the long and short of it. But she did do one of the smartest business moves I've literally ever seen in my entire life. She sold out her concert everywhere, all over the world.
Yeah.
I dropped lots of money on it, Richard. Like, I don't want to talk about it, but I'll put it this way: I had to do an ad to pay for it. But she then had like the top grossing movie for I don't even know how long. And the movie, I thought it was like an event. No, the movie was just the concert that she already sold tickets to.
Yes.
So,
I know.
So she just DVR'd her concert and made a couple bags on that too.
Yeah. She's like, hey, we're already here. I've already got friends and family, or not friends and family. We already have fans all over the place. Like, they want to see it, but they can't make it. They can, instead of spending $500 billion on a ticket, here's $25 to go sit in a theater with a whole bunch of people that want to see me anyway, so you can all dance in circles like a cult.
Again, that goes back to the creative Hollywood industry and how they're so out of touch. The number one selling artist in the world just recreates her concert in the movie, and she's the box office hit of something. Like,
yeah.
Like, come on.
Let's see. The next one is Sam Altman. That's the ChatGPT founder who got fired and then hired by Windows and then re-put into as the head of ChatGPT.
Yeah, that's scary. He knows stuff, dude. He knows stuff.
Yep.
Like, he started to walk over to Microsoft, and they did an emergency board meeting with the most powerful people in the world. They said, get back over here.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. It's terrifying, to be honest.
The next one, you ready for this? Trump prosecutors. Yep. The brave Trump prosecutors indicting the nation's, indicting the president to become the first time that a president has been indicted in the nation's history.
Cool. Really reaching, huh?
I know, right?
Who works at time? Did they take all the writers from BuzzFeed that lost their jobs and then put them at time.
Dude, get ready for the next one, because everything that's wrong, all the toxic masculinity, all the orange man bad with Trump, right? And the very next one, Barbie.
I mean, what are we doing?
I don't know.
We used to be a country, a proper country.
It used to be a real place with
Now,
ideas.
I had ideas. So I did like the Barbie movie. I understand it, but I wasn't like up against it. Like the idea was just like, whatever. I have daughters, so I have very nuanced the idea of it. But like, I don't think, again, so we're saying like the most influential people of the year is Mattel. Is
Yeah.
a plastic version. I think there's so many other things that are out there that we should focus on. How about Tyler Vargas Andrews at Whistling Death on Instagram, who testified in front of Congress after being blown up in Afghanistan at H-Kaya, somehow lived, missing an arm, missing a leg, and he sat down and held our government accountable. I think that's a little better than Mattel, personally.
I agree. Well, the next one's Vladimir Putin, if you want to get into politics.
Why not? How is whatever, dude? Who's writing this?
I don't know. The next one is King Charles III. Who gives a shit? He got his crown, was it this year or last year? What has he done? What has he done? He hasn't even been in the news. He hates the commoner. He had his wife killed.
Yeah. He doesn't fit in the news or his rings. His fingers look like sausages that haven't been spun. Like he has like all these like diseases or whatever. Like all I can think about is that meme of his fingers, and they look like they're about to pop his fingernail off.
Oh, and then the next one is Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Federal Reserve since 2018, playing a key role in managing high inflation in the U.S. He's done a fucking horrible job.
Bro, this is a psyop. This whole time article is a psyop. Like, the inflation's never been higher. People can't even get home loans. Like, but the release the beer and release the water in beer cans. That'll distract me. That's all I ever think about. You know?
Oh, hold on. I gotta put the phone down for a second because my camera died. I gotta grab the other battery.
Okay.
Hold on. Hold on one moment. Oh, I can fix it. I was ready for this. I was so ready. I had a battery charging and everything. Just waiting for this to happen. I mean, barely. You're still on speakerphone.
We don't love America. Go check out the After Action podcast. Everywhere you got it. Everywhere you want it. Wherever you get your entertainment, you go there right now. Like, you comment, you subscribe. It's on my YouTube page, Veteran with a Sign. It's on there. It's a playlist.
Oh my God, you're obnoxious.
I wish I could be obnoxious with you this week. But, you know.
Stuff. All right, I got my camera back on. I'm back.
All right.
You're back.
I don't want to talk about what I'm doing right now. You know,
Oh, that was it. That was the short list. That was, oh my God, that was it. That's going to be the next, that's all they could choose from? Was the guy that ruined the country who owns...
There are so many other things we talk about. Like, an insane amount of things deserve a higher level of attention. And I understand, like, our country's not perfect. There's a lot going on. But, like, realistically...
I'm just happy that I know who Jerome Powell is now and that he's 100% responsible for this high inflation, has done an absolutely horrible job. I wish Donald Trump would have fired him in 2018 or 2019, like a year after he got on the job, and was like, this idiot.
Isn't it the guy who always says, like, if you listen to, like, anyone talk about economics, they're like, I don't think that's the plan. Like, he's always just like, it's okay, it'll level out. He doesn't seem to have a plan. It terrifies me, day in, day out.
I'm looking up Jerome Powell right now. This guy fucking sucks.
Maybe his plan is just to inflate the economy. And if that's his plan, he's doing great. He probably just has different goals. That's what it is. We don't have the same goals.
The U.S. News World Report. There's a headline. It goes, who's to believe? Jerome Powell or the markets? The markets. I believe the markets, because Jerome Powell is one idiot who's been failing for the past 4 years. Markets are calling the Federal Reserve's chairman's bluff. This week's readings on the labor market could change that. Yeah, this guy's bad at his job. He's
Insanely bad.
He's fumbled the bag, as the kids would say.
Yeah, he's fumbled it big time. Like it's I mean, like literally, it's just like everything we say sounds conspiratorial at this point, but like, you know, I think of like the World Economic Forum and all those people being like, "You will own nothing and enjoy it."
Right.
Like, it terrifies me. It actually terrifies me, but I don't know. I wish
What a jizz. They should hang that guy by his toes.
whatever singular writer is working at time, I hope that they consider, you know, not doing that anymore.
So let's go through. Let's go through and see who we vote for. Jerome Powell, King Charles III, Vladimir Putin, Barbie, Trump prosecutors, Sam Altman, Taylor Swift, Xi Jinping, or the Hollywood Strikers. I'm torn between Sam Altman and Jerome Powell, because Jerome Powell has definitely affected my life over the past couple of years since I've, buying the crack houses and having interest rates be absolutely horrible. And being the person of the year, it just says that they've been in the headlines, that they've, let me see, I want to quote it. For a person, group, or concept that most shaped the headlines for good or ill. And Powell has definitely.
Why did they say bad?
I don't know.
Dumb.
Good or bad? Oh, because it's Time Magazine. They have to be smart. They can't say good or bad. That's too. People know what that is. That's too commoner. Good and ill.
Yeah.
We're not from the same ilk as them.
Yeah, the same ilk. Yeah.
Who's your choice? You gonna go with?
I mean, we don't really know what all the guy that Give AI knows yet. It just is. I mean, people don't really understand, or maybe they do, but I don't think people really grasp like how radical it is what happened for a board of directors for that size of a company to or whoever fired him, and then for the board to have an emergency meeting and be like, "You're out of your mind."
Yeah, because 90% of the people in the company said, "We're gonna quit." Like, you either bring him back or we're gone.
That's unheard of, though. That is unheard of. I don't think anyone really understands that. Especially because the people who are on these like big tech company boards, like they're like, what's his name? The wealthy dude lives out in Nebraska, and like Ashton Kutcher and Mark Cuban and stuff like that. They're not really you tell them what to do people. So I'm thinking him. That's number two, but the first one's definitely the Fed guy, because he's just, I don't know. I guess he just goes into his office in a federal building every day and he just does and just waits until he like doesn't do anything proactive.
Just waits for the news.
He hasn't helped it. Yeah. It doesn't work. It doesn't work and it doesn't help.
Yep. All right, brother. I'm gonna let you go. I'll let you drive. Do your thing.
Yeah. He's falling a little bit. I'll tag you, but thank you so much, and yeah, love it.
All right, brother. I'll see you.
Love you, bye.
It's a handsome man right there. Very intelligent man. William Jefferson Clinton. Obvious choice. Willie's Willie. All right, weirdos. That is such a garbage Times person of the year. That's such a trash list. That's absolutely trash. I mean, there's not even somebody on there that I would, the only person that I think that's a positive is Sam Altman. Everything else in there is just garbage. Yeah, Vladimir Putin. Yeah, Xi Jinping. Like, they're our biggest competitors. But does that mean that they're Times person of the year? They used to be like such a prestigious thing. You had to do something very big that year. And then so far it's Sam Altman. Like, that's it. Not only just because of the individual things that he did, being the CEO of OpenAI, which released ChatGPT, which everybody was messing around with. God, it was all over social media for months. Everybody made their own Viking. I didn't do any of that shit because I didn't care. I had better shit to do than see myself as a Viking, a bald-ass Viking with whatever. And then Jerome Powell, just because he's a horrible piece of shit that should have been fired years ago. He is horrible at inflation. And if he's not horrible at inflation, he's horrible at standing up for himself and telling the American people what's actually going on and holding the president accountable. So, on that note, check out Angry Streams. Once this is up, I'm gonna put a little link in the description below, so you can just click on the link and go to Angry Streams, subscribe, see me here every week. I put out announcements on Twitter and on Instagram. So if you want to know when I'm going to be streaming here, Instagram stories, and I'm going to put it out on Twitter as well. Or just turn on your notifications when you subscribe onto Angry Streams. I mean, you just do that. Subscribe to Angry Streams, turn on notifications. There you go. And if you want to be a part of the inclusive Patreon stream, where it's just you, me, and a couple other blokes chilling, BS, and talking some personal one-on-one time with your man right here, talking about what you want to talk about, sign up for Patreon. I'll leave a link down there too. Otherwise, we're all here just to bullshit, have a good time. And if it's free, it's for me, man, so you don't got to sign up and do shit. Totally understand it. Just glad that you're here in the chat. I'll see you next time, weirdos.